you're conducting a very expensive public brainstorming.
Lahat ng mga gaming should also contribute and after the creation as well.
But why not privatize PAGCOR?
Sino naglolokohan dito?
Ngayon pinag-aralan ko pa rin po kung ano ba talaga magiging stand ko sa Maharlika Fund. Kung ito ba'y makakabuti sa taong bayan at kapag nakita ko na hindi, then I will not vote for it.
Hindi, pero Secretary De Leon, di ba, para mas, ano ba yan, mas mako-convince kami to approve this bill kung alam na rin namin kung ano ba talaga yung business plan?
Well, ma'am, in the legislation po, we have also cited already the objectives, which is the developmental and of course the commercial. And then we are also working in terms of how much would be the returns that are also envisioned by the fund.
Yeah,
So-
pero how can you envision a return when you don't even know what's the specific developmental plan? Like, offhand, can you cite one developmental project na mukhang yun na yung first, ano nyo, first target nyo? Siguro just to be clear, kasi diba kunwari, PPP, may private sector, for example, NLEX, SLEX, diba? Yun yung example of PPP. But with the Maharlika Fund, paano ba yun? Si Maharlika Fund, magjo-joint venture with government?
Well, let's say if we talk about a road project, di ba? So kunwari po meron tayong city and we want to build a bypass road just to reduce congestion. It could be a case that as part of our infrastructure objectives, gagawin natin yung bypass road without making it a PPP because we just want to improve the economy in the area. But let's say we see a business case. This could be a PPP, and the private sector could undertake the role of financing it and operating it as a PPP project. So that's how we allocate
saan
projects.
papasok dun sa storya na yun, yung Maharlika Fund?
Actually, that could be, let's say, we could. It's not being done now because there's no Maharlika Fund. But let's say we could conceptually bid it such that we can say the Maharlika Fund has a participation in the project, let's say as an equity provider. So it's already, let's say, built in. We can say that Maharlika Fund is a 20% participation. So it could be conceptually done that way.
Tama po kayo. We're talking of people's money here, so we should really be very careful doon sa mga investment that we will be making. My question to you, sir, what do you think kung lagyan po natin ng put option contract yung investment? Lahat ng i-invest na pera ng Maharlika in any corporation dapat merong put option contract. Meaning, kapag halimbawa yung stocks ng isang corporation where the funds were invested in a certain corporation ay bumagsak. So, Maharlika has the right to sell back the investment at a predetermined price. Or let's say, the same price, yung pa rin yung premium kung magkano yung in-invest niya plus 30%. Para ma-insure po yung investment.
Well, I don't think in all projects you can find somebody who will put a put option. Secondly, depende po yung kung sino yung counterparty, kung sino po yung nagpuput. Kung he has the financial capacity to make good on the put option.
Kaya nga po, mag-invest lang yung Maharlika doon sa mga company na kaya nilang panindigan or papayag sila because they have the capability when the time comes para to make good on that put option contract.
Kung merong mga kumpanyang it will maybe save the principal, but it's not without risk Again, depending nga doon sa korporasyon na nagpuput that will back up the put option, no?
Okay. So you said it depends on the company na papayag o babakapan yung put option. Kaya sabi ko kanina, and then we should be very selective and choosy in approaching the corporation that we would invest our money in.
Pero sa pagkaalam ko po, invest nila to sa projects. Sinasabi nila, based on the newspaper, sa mga PPP projects, sa infrastructure, etc. Sino mag-put up ng put option doon sa mga na projects?
And then another thing na hindi po papasukan ng korupsyon. Ito pong Maharlika, my suggestion is we should not exempt the members of the board from criminal prosecution, especially kung meron pong nangyari mga bad investments due to selfish practices. Pwede silang dapat kasuhan ng plunder. What do you think of that, sir?
Well, we have no objection to that. It makes it's one step toward ensuring that the interests of the board are aligned with that of the corporation if they know that there are consequences to their action. But why not privatize PAGCOR? You can get 100 billion or maybe more.
Yes.
And then the government just sticks to regulation. It doesn't have to do the operations. So that's one source of revenue. And even as I said, assets like Muntinlupa, the jail, maybe it will get you 100 billion or something.
Just for the information of everybody, minority po kasi kami. We observe the majority aligned with the admin, and we see what you're doing. You're conducting a very expensive public brainstorming. Yan ang ginagawa ninyo eh. Expensive in terms of resources and in time, which you should have done months ago before actually making the proposal. Yan ang nangyayari po. I see the National Treasurer sending instructions to the LBL Land Bank representatives to tone down the 14%. Dapat nag-usap na po kayo beforehand. May non-recurring pala dun. Di, sinabihan nyo na sana. Don't use that 14% rate of return kasi may non-recurring dun. Investments. Meron pang last paragraph dun eh. And all other investments as may be decided by the board. Di, sino naglulukuhan dito? Di ba? You make it appear to Japanese investors, we're very strict. Pero sa dulo, may lusot. There is a 2% cap on administration and operating expenses. But there is a section 17 which allows additional expenses na wala ng cap. And then we hear news about the president reporting the Japanese investors are excited to invest in the Maharlika Fund. Where is the mechanism in the current bill? How do they invest? Wala din dun. Tapos, this Maharlika Investment Corporation can directly give ayuda. Andun yung naka-insert yung word na directly. Ano naman meaning nun? I mean, another DSWD. So what are we doing here? I mean, di ba? I mean, there will now be ayuda distributed to the poorest of the poor. Ang tarpaulin sa likod is Maharlika Investment Corporation. Ano nangyari? What's happening? What is happening? What is the real purpose of this proposal? Hindi po namin makuha sa pagbabago ng anyo. Ganun po nangyayari. We are really conducting a very expensive public brainstorming sessions on a proposal coming from the administration na not well thought out, not well planned.